It's kind
So
of
it's
like
kind
Katt
of awkward.
Williams.
It's like you're taking advantage of him a little bit.
It's like Katt Williams.
You got to oil him up a little bit.
Yeah,
You got P. Diddy at it.
When Diddy want to play, he want to play, and you got to tell him no. Yo.
Yeah. I watched some of it, man. I didn't even see that part yet.
Yo, it's hilarious, bro. When you get to it, it's just Katt Williams, and he's just doing this the whole time.
He's so funny. But you know what?
He's like, did he like to play?
Tell you what.
But sometimes you got to tell him.
You know what I took out of that interview, and I haven't seen it all yet, is how smart that dude is.
Yeah.
He is a brilliant dude.
So hear
I really think he's high level, high IQ, very smart, with good intentions.
I agree.
Morally strong.
I agree.
I like this guy.
So my friends and I were going back and forth if he's a hater or not. And if he's a hater of hating on someone that's trying to come up in the black community. So I was just kind of like, I get what you're saying, but it's hard for me to call him a hater when he has, I felt like I don't know any direct people he's pulled up, but I feel like he gives a lot of props and he's very positive in his outlook and approach to a lot of people. It's just, I feel if it's someone he just doesn't like. So here it is, the craft. How many people do we know that come into our sport, and if they kind of get like an easier road to a championship, you feel like everything's being given to them when you work your butt off, you don't get the recognition that you probably deserve because you're not doing certain amount of things that said boss or the gatekeeper who has the openings for you to get into those positions with the easier fights. It's a little bit different, but in terms of entertainment, it's kind of similar. Mm-hmm. Like, we kind of low-key hate on those people, too, and that's what pretty much what I was trying to tell him. Like, I get where Katt's coming from. Yeah, he could just take the high road, but I think if he sees somebody coming in who never sold out a show, never sold out a show, and now they're headlining, and they have a movie and all these other things, you're kind of looking at it like, yeah, I'm a little salty you got all that. Like, I'm here, I'm funny, too. I'm over here grinding. I'm actually selling out shows. Why I didn't get this opportunity? So I don't know. I
don't think he's hating at all because he's already done everything. I think he's bigger than them all. He is one of the kings of comedy forever. Like,
I agree,
and I think when he sees someone doing it, not the way he thinks a champion should be brought up and become a champion.
Yeah.
He's just going to be honest about it. I don't think he's throwing salt on their name like he doesn't want them to be successful. He's just kind of calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
I think he's just being honest. I don't think it's hating because he doesn't want to tear that guy down and bring himself up. He's cool with everybody coming up, but he's just being honest about, hey, this dude's acting like he's something that he's not, and he's going to call him out on it.
Yeah, he was just saying some stuff like he's funny in real life, this other guy is not. And I get what he was saying. It's tough.
But to also go back, because I don't know if I watched more of it than you or not, but he does say, like, he brings up a lot of people. I think he's blessed a lot of people, and I think even on the road he does a lot of black women is what he brings with him because he feels like it's the hardest for them to make money, and so I think he actually mentioned that on the show. Women in general, but I also think black women.
Well, there was that one girl, Tiffany Haddish, where he was kind of saying she's not funny at all, and was kind of roasting her a little bit. And I don't think it was wrong. I just think, like you said, I think he's just calling it what it is. But at the same time, I respect Kevin Hart because he elevated her and gave her a platform when she necessarily didn't have like those opportunities. I don't know exactly like verbatim what their career choices were looking like, but Kevin Hart did a lot for a lot of people.
What did he say about Kevin Hart? I didn't see that part.
So there's a timeline. My boy sent me an article. You actually know him, Tope.
Okay.
He sent me an article. And it showed the timeline of Katt Williams kind of saying some stuff a couple of different times in different years. And Kevin Hart didn't really respond. And then when he did, he kind of apologized. Katt Williams apologized. And then he said whatever he did. And then he attacked Tiffany Haddish. And then when he attacked her, Kevin jumped to her defense on The Breakfast Club. And then it started the beef all over again. And then he had
What was
Shannon
he
Sharpe.
saying? What do we know what he actually said about Kevin Hart?
I wish I could just pull this article up right now.
All right, so you don't really know, but you just knew.
Like I read the article.
He came at him a little bit.
He came at him a little bit, but I don't think it was anything like super malicious. It was just like, I think he was just saying like, "Yo, man, you're just not me."
Yeah.
And I can understand that. It's just like when people talk like, I hate having to use this guy's name because they just think, oh, he's still salty. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. I make my money. I don't care. But when you talk about someone who's gotten to a chance to fight for a championship and on their resume they fought no one in the top 5 or maybe one in the top 5 when I had to fight 3 top 5 people, I had to go on a crazy win streak in order to get to a title championship. And even then, it still wasn't enough. If the guys I beat didn't beat these other guys, where it made me the common winner, common opponents, I wouldn't have gotten the title shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Corey Sandhagen beat Marlon Moraes, Corey Sandhagen beat Frankie Yeager, and there was one other guy I think he beat where it kind of removed all challengers, where it's just, well, you got to go with the guy that's still there because he just beat this guy in 2 minutes. It's like you can't go with the other guy. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And then the guy's coming off. So I just look at resumes because I'm a purist. I like that aspect of merit. Like, man, you come in and you beat a killer's row. Like, I respect that way more than someone who comes in and you only have to win one time and then you get a shot. Like, it's still hard to do. Like, I still credit that, but it's just how much harder is it to roll the dice against a killer's row of tough dudes and get a shot versus someone who kind of comes in. So I get that relatability in that sense.
I'm a purist at heart too, but I've been around the game long enough to know is that you have no control over anybody's destiny and how they're going to get to the top and what they do to get there. And so I think it only hurts you, and I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about myself. It only hurts the person who is dwelling on that and upset about it because it's kind of BS. Like, why is this guy getting this opportunity when he didn't do the things that some other people have done?
Yeah.
And so you could be salty on it, but it only hurts you at the end of the day. So I think it's better just to kind of root for everybody. And everybody has different paths, and some paths are harder than others, and you just have to try to be happy for them because otherwise it's going to be hurting you. It's not hurting them.
No, not at all.
That's the thing. So they're in your head, and we can't give them that space. It has to be, listen, I'm happy for everybody, good for them. That's it.
Yeah.
Look at Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, because of Adesanya, got to ride up. He didn't go against any wrestlers or anything. He got to ride up to get that fight with Adesanya. Yeah. And then he made the most of it. Like, what's his record? 9-1 or 9-2?
Yeah, something like that.
He's going to go down as one of the greatest fighters ever. Like, he's a champ. Like, this is kind of crazy. Well, I guess he's not champ. He won in 2 different divisions.
Yeah, but I just look at it like I respect that still. Like, I can respect that hustle and that grind. But then if someone else comes in, if you ask me which guy is greater, the guy who went through the gauntlet and beat those guys, I'm like, yo, he's a badass, but this guy's the real badass. That's just the way I look at it. I'm not gonna say the other guy ain't a badass. Like,
I always thought of it by title defenses. That's the way I always, in my head, who has the most title defenses. I thought title defense is the hardest thing to pull off.
But then if you get to pick and choose your title defenses,
and
then it's like it changes the conversation
But then we get salty because it's just not going to be.
Yeah, no one wins.
This game has turned into a business. Also, I could be salty. Bo Nickel is getting fights that work for him. Up and coming. Listen, I had a great wrestling background. I was undefeated coming up. I was an undefeated world champion. They were throwing whoever was a tough test at me all the time. There was no like, hey, let's build up this kid Weidman. We think he could be a world champion. Nobody was given that opportunity back in the day. Now it's a public traded company. In my mind, that's probably why things happen like this now. And it's smart business wise. If you have a guy who you think is a top prospect and you think he has a potential to have a big fan base, let's give him these setup fights to where he's going to grow with us. And then favorable matchups when it matters. Boom, let's get this kid the belt. Now we're going to have this country aligned with us. It makes sense. Now, inside of me, it's like, man, that's kind of bullshit. Like, but I'll be wasting my own time and hurting myself even thinking that way. So you just got to be like, I'm happy for these guys. Good for him.